Hold on. What the fudge? Let me...
That means we're live.
I hear something going on.
Oh yeah, are we live?
That's my phone telling me that...
Oh yeah, we are. I thought I hit stop. Alright, there you go, Nick.
My Android tells you we're live before your Apple does.
Before the host does. I'm trying to get rid of that logo, but I don't know. Alright. Screw it. We are here with Garrett Ahlf. Finally, last week you had like a little bit of a an emergency.
Yeah, it turned out to be nothing too serious, but we weren't sure what was going to happen. My son's allergic to peanuts, and I think he got hold of some at school, even though it's a peanut-free school. And then his throat was locking up, his chest was, so we weren't sure. We took him to the doctor, and then they're like, "Oh, you might need to go to the ER later." And but we got it handled, and everything's good.
That's good. It's supposed to be a peanut-free campus.
Yes, and I think mom or something brought some cookies in, and the bakery like bakes with nuts or peanuts, and kind of brought it back in, and yeah, kind of scary.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, I'm glad that all that worked out, and and we're able to catch up this week.
Yes, sir.
So, we were just talking about it. You live, actually, the biggest jump I ever hit is directly across the street from your front yard.
Yeah, and I actually just, moved out and I moved in, so now this is where I reside.
Okay, you weren't living there when we rode out there?
I'm not sure when it was. When did you guys come out?
15
Before
maybe?
2010?
No, I think it was like 2015.
Yeah, I wasn't living here.
Oh, okay.
I bought the house in April of this year, so.
Sweet. So, what'd you say that house is? Did your parents live there?
Yeah, I grew up here, and after my dad passed away, my mom didn't want to take care of the property anymore, so she decided to put it up for sale. I said, wait another year or so, let me get some stuff straightened out so we can, me and my wife can buy it from you before you put it on the market.
Nice.
We made it happen. Yeah.
Awesome. And you also have another business. I see you wearing the hat.
Yep. Yeah, I started buying I'd say, light towers and stuff back in 2013, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life after freestyle, because I wasn't too sure if I was going to stay at the family business or start my own deal or what. But as all of us that ride freestyle, you got to figure out what you're going to do after, because it doesn't last forever. And I figured too, if I buy equipment and something doesn't turn out, sell it and do something else with it.
It's true.
Got a backup plan.
Yeah.
That was good, and not a lot of guys even address any of that, and then ended up just
so
afterwards.
What kind of equipment is it?
So Bakersfield is a town that has two major industries, which is farming and oil. We produce the most oil in all of California, and probably the West Coast is in here in Kern County, and there's a lot of equipment companies and stuff like that. So I figured with my, friendships with a lot of people in the industry, I figured, I might be able to rent a couple things here and there to them, and turned out to be pretty smart decision on my part. So, yeah.
Nice.
Well, the coolest thing I saw, you have the cooling station.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
so
because
what those are,
yeah, that's pretty unique,
so
because most of the rest of the country wouldn't have to use that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, California, especially, like, I thought it was going to be just, like a summertime gig where it gets over, a certain amount of degrees or whatever, the companies would have them out. But in California, with regulations and safety requirements in business, you got to have a cool shaded area for your employees that work outside, 80 degrees and hotter. So I think it's 112, 110 here in Bakersfield. So 80 degrees starts in about March and ends around the end of October, early November. So it actually became out to be more of I thought it was going to be like a 4 or 5 month gig, but it turned out to be more like a 9 month gig. So it worked out pretty good.
Nice. And that is, you made a trailer with just some a fan and misters, or was it just one of those the fans that already have the water running through it with the cardboard louvers?
Yep. Yeah, it's a porticool setup, the evaporative cooler system. So the misters, they had a whole bunch. There's another company that has the mister trailers, but with California, again, all their regulations and bullshit safety stuff, they can't have water coming out unless the water's potable water. Because if it gets in your eyes or you inhale it and you get sick, it becomes a safety hazard.
Awesome. Well, that created a market for you then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
take advantage of it.
It's funny because, I thought it was a good idea. I built a few of them, and then United Rentals stole my idea and built 30 trailers.
Damn.
And you know who United Rentals is.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Right.
So, yeah, they have like 30 trailers in their yard now.
Wow.
Shit.
And you came up with that idea?
Well, I wouldn't say it was all my idea. I was on Ritchie Brothers auction site looking for equipment, and I saw somewhat of a trailer with a fan on it. I was like, hey. But it was in Texas, where it's a lot more humid,
right? And
they want the evaporative cooling system, not just the misters, because the humidity down in Texas and the South.
Yeah.
They don't want the water getting on them, so they have the evaporative cooling system that just blows cool air on them. I was like, well, that's a more expensive idea, but it could work perfect here in Bakersfield or California area. So that's how I came up with it. And then, innovation of how I'm going to build it this time, do this different this year. So I've had them for 3 years, and I've completely changed a lot of how it's set up and all that. So always room to improve.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Sweet. So, but you still, I feel like there was a point where you kind of backed off of doing shows, and then you're doing a bunch again now.
So 2014, I decided to stay more on the West Coast stuff. I'm not going to travel, be on the bus for mad amounts of time because I just had my first kid. In the first year, 2013, I was away from him a lot, and I was like, man, I missed out on a lot of his stuff, his first year of life. So I was like, I can stay on the West Coast. I can be gone on a weekend, come back, go to work or whatever. And then I did the same thing 2015, and I was going to be done. I was like, okay, I'm going to really pursue the equipment stuff. I bought some other bigger equipment and just going to try to hustle that the best I could. And then I think it was January or February, starting 2016, Nitro Circus called me and said, hey, we're doing this gig. It's going to be a U.S. tour. It's going to be a little bit of a smaller tour, hit the smaller areas. We're going to have 13 stops for you if you want to do it. I was like, bitchin', that's sweet. They'll fly me in and out. I can still run my business and then be gone on the weekends and make a little bit of extra money. And then after the 13 shows stop, they go, hey, we want you to do the rest of the year. And it was all the way to October. So it was the beginning of April all the way through the end of October of 2016. And it was every weekend except 2 weekends. And then I missed flight and couldn't make it to one show on the West or East Coast. So that turned out to be a blessing because I was able to buy some more equipment with the money I made from shows.
So they flew you out every weekend?
Yeah, that was one of the things I was worried about. I was like, man, do I need to pay for the flights? Because I've, heard other tours where like, yeah, we're going to, keep you busy for a few months, but you got to figure out your own flights and all that, but we'll pay you good and all that. But when I asked them about that, they're like, no, we'll fly you in and out your hometown every weekend. You go back home during the week. I was like, I can get used to that,
Yeah, that's huge, dude. Especially when you got a kid.
Yeah, and I just had my second kid when this started. I was like, oh, God, here we go again,
So how old are your kids?
I turned 30 this year, so I'll be 31 in January.
31. And how old are your kids?
I have a 5-year-old, and my young one will be 2 on the 31st.
Okay. Wow. So we're kind of on the same schedule.
Yeah. I got 2 boys. They're rowdy, and the more and more they grow up, the more and more I gotta keep an eye on them. It's insane. I know that people say, "Oh, yeah, you gotta watch your kid," but man, it's a handful. It's the toughest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I just got yelled at because I was fighting my kids, and then she's like, "It's bedtime." I got them riled up before bedtime.
My kids are, I think every dad does that. Because I remember that I would rile up the kids. We go read books, and I'm wrestling him, grabbing his leg, dragging him across. Like, hey, we're trying to calm them down and get them to bed, not get them hyped up again. Sorry, it just seemed like a perfect time to mess around and play.
You wanted to wrestle.
Yeah.
So, if you grew up right there, you grow up riding in that canyon and stuff.
Yeah. So I was out there when I was a kid. Me and my 2 brothers shared a ranch quad that was my grandpa's for the longest time. And then, after I rode one of my friend's dirt bikes, I asked my parents and asked Santa Claus every year, please give me a dirt bike. That's all I want. And then didn't happen until I was 12 years old. And then, we would go shred those hills every day after school, come straight home, get on the bikes, go down the canyons, go find jumps, all that.
Awesome. I'm sure there was there, so when you were little like that, was there already made jumps out there, or was there guys that were shredding in the hills back on some 1975 Bull Tacos, or what?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of that. There was a hill called the Widowmaker, and there was guys way back in the day climbing the gnarly hill climbs and all of that. But when I started coming around, even before I had a dirt bike, I remember the LBZ Chrome and Re-Chrome and Moto Triple X, the original one. We had what was his name? Shit. Rich Taylor. You remember Rich Taylor?
Radical Rich.
Taylor would come out and tread. He was badass in the dunes, watching all that. But then LBZ Chrome came out, and I remember we asked my parents for that video because we saw it in the dirt bike store. And this was right after the Crusties and all that. We're like, oh, that's the new one. And if you've seen LBZ Chrome, watching that Christmas morning when we were 10 or 11, with the chicks in their bikinis and they're at the bar doing that, my parents were like, what the hell do you guys make us buy? But we watched Adam Pearce and Brian Farrell. They used to shred the hills all the time, and we'd follow them around on the quads and just watch them do heel clickers and do cliff jumps and all that.
Awesome.
So it was just like an inspiration from day one.
So that was the guys when you were young? It wasn't Bird? You weren't out there watching Bird?
Bird was out there not as much as I remember, but I remember seeing him in I don't know if you remember the old, I think it was Chrome. And it shows him jumping a little canyon, and then his whole leg is split open, and it's like a big gash about the size of, I don't know, if you watched it, you would see him. But Bird started coming back around, I don't know, I'd probably say 5-6 years ago.
When he started trying to go for the world record?
Oh yeah, he was going. I remember one day he went out for the world record, and I don't even know what he was trying to come down this hill. Oh, it was a mess, and he barely spared like smaller than the jumps across the street. Those are about 165, 170, just depends on where you land. But yeah, it was just like, oh my god, this guy's insane. But then he went out to town right about 30 minutes west of Bakersfield, and he was jumping a man-made, I think he made it himself, a ramp, and out of this big hill that it was just a regular hill that he backed the ramp up to, and he was doing 400 foot almost.
400 feet? Who are we talking about?
Bird.
On a, oh wow, you got to watch the videos. It's insane. Like just his motorcycle.
I've seen
alone,
I think
his motorcycle alone, I wouldn't even want to ride it down the street, like do wheelies on it. And he's like hucking 400 foot world record stuff with it.
Yo, was
I give him props. It's insane.
He had to gear it up, right? Because he's just on a 252 stroke.
Yeah, 252 stroke. I don't know if it was bored out or not. I never really asked him the specifics, but he would cut his plastic down and, like his gas tank, it holds what? Almost 2 gallons, a regular motocross gas tank. He put a water bottle in there that holds 12 or 16 ounces of fuel that he'd fill up to reduce the weight on the bike. So he has a water bottle underneath his seat where the gas tank should be that has a little tiny bit of fuel so he can just take one run and jump the ramp. And it's just like, if the heat of the motor can melt this water bottle, put gasoline all over the engine. And I just, all right, go for it, dude. I'll watch.
I feel like as much as that's a good theory, I feel like to fly that long, you probably want a nice stable bike in the air. I feel like if you made it loose, light as shit, you'd just be floating around.
Is this? Yeah, no. The logic behind it was purely stupidity, but he did it. I mean, he jumped. They had a guy out there and everything measuring the ramp. He jumped damn near. I don't know if it was 400 feet or right close to 400 foot.
Dude, when we were there, I'm blowing it up. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, for people on just audio, he's just blasting across some field right now and just hits a 30-foot tall takeoff.
Yeah,
that's a huge ramp.
Yo, he's like Uncle Rico. He's like, I can jump clear over them mountains.
Exactly. When I see that mountain, I'm going to jump. But I remember now, Scott Price, you guys know Wyvern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Price, the owner of Wyvern, used to own a supercross team. And that's what he did for fun. Guys with buku bucks, they got to spend their money and put, for tax write-offs. And he had a couple race bikes. And I think, they weren't factory thing, but they were built pretty good. And I think that was one of them. He gave it to Bird jump. So it actually had that one. He actually had suspension on and all that when it was fresh. But then a couple years later, he still tried to do some stuff, and it was hammered.
He lost the gas tank. Thought he was ready to go.
Yeah, he lost the gas tank. I mean, he was cutting down a little bit of stuff. It wasn't as Tom Pages style, but that's what he was trying to go for.
Or
lightening up.
Levi's getting crazy with his bike, I think, too.
Yeah, I saw that. Makes the carbon fiber over everything.
Yeah.
He makes all that stuff. I've seen him making molds for number plates and shit.
Yeah. And then he's always putting it on the scale versus a stock one or whatever.
One time, an ounce or a milli.
Yeah, exactly. The one time he was like, I got a little bit carried away on this one. It's literally not almost the same weight. Saved a couple of ounces or something.
Yeah.
Just take it off.
Yeah, that's funny.
Dude, I've never seen that Tyler or Bird or whatever. I've never.
You never seen that guy?
No. How do you get that ramp out there? It's huge.
He probably assembled it there.
He goes out there, puts it together himself, and drags the wood. At my old house, I still lived by the hills, but he had 2 semi-trucks. He had parked next to each other. There's a makeshift foam pit out in the hills that he dug a hole and just started bringing in mattresses and foam and couches and all that. Because what he said his next goal was to be the world distance backflip guy. That's what he wanted to do next. This guy's close to 50.
No way.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah. He was in his 40s doing that job.
Yeah. When we were out there, we are just riding out in these hills, and all of a sudden, this guy comes blazing up on us like a maniac, and like he's screaming already, and he got up close to us and realized that it was Chuck, and was just like, oh. Like kind of backed off or whatever, but he was totally ready he was screaming at us, like trying to kick us out and shit like that. And we're like, what are you talking about?
So the story behind that is there's oil leases out there, where guys own some of the property and this and that, and where he was stationed at, one of the owners said, yeah, like, you can run people off if they're like trying to dump trash or mess with the oil leasing or something like that, or the oil derricks and all that. And he took it as, I own the whole hills now. I get to kick everyone out, and I want to. So anyone that was riding out there, he thought, I can kick these guys out. I don't give a shit who they are or what. But it was like, dude, you overstepped what you took. He just took it authority and just thought, I'm the king of the hill. And it was ridiculous because he was building jumps out there. He built some sweet-ass jumps.
Yeah.
He took a lot of time doing it. But you can't just build a jump out there and expect it to be not jumped by someone else that doesn't ride out there. It's going to happen no matter what.
This is him we're watching jump this 394 feet, right?
There it is, 394, close to 400 foot.
7 inches with a street bike helmet.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he did it. I mean, they measured it a few times of where he landed. They would, broom the landing. So right when he hit the dirt, they know exactly where the tire hit and all that.
Didn't they say that wasn't the world record because of something with the setup?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, or if they didn't have the right officials out there, or what have you. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you jump 395 feet. You jump at 395 feet. I don't give a shit if it was down a ski slope or whatever.
Right.
That's a long way.
But that wasn't even that crazy. It wasn't like that was that big of a drop off or anything. Like that was a normal proportion jump where it just is to a mountain.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is because it's a mountain for a landing. Like you can't go build that out in Vegas. You can't go, set this thing up where they're going to have people there or anything like that. You literally had to find a mountain to do the jump. But he built jumps across the street that he would build a lip and everything. And I'm like, dude, if you jump this and you over jump it a little bit, you're flying off a cliff and you're dying. Like, you could parachute off these hills, some of them. And he had it like coming down landing. Even if he landed it smooth, you would have to be on the brakes so fast. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And that's what he was all about.
Yeah, when we were out there, you would just see Scranny was just like, look, there's one of Bird's jumps. There's another one. Like the whole time we're just riding around, there's just like faces everywhere that the guys that has dug.
Hey, no one would jump. No one. It's just a lip that he built that I don't know if he was planning on jumping in or what, but it was there, and whoever wanted to jump it.
Yeah, have at it. Yeah, there's a couple of things I was like, I ain't jumping that shit. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Like to little peaks.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of gnarly jumps out there. For sure.
Try and find that super long one on my Instagram, Nick. That's at that jump across the street from his house.
All right.
So my computer doesn't have the power to do this and Facebook Live at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah.
You should get a shitty Apple.
I'm barely able to even do this, so I'm happy.
That's funny. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I guess it was kind of in the middle of nowhere.
As soon as I started talking, it started buffering.
As soon as you started talking?
Usually I'm the one usually I'm the one in the cornfield with it.
Yeah, because I started trying to load Facebook again, so that's probably why it started buffering on us.
Well, now I'm just going through Clint's Instagram page.
It's back where I got hurt with you. I think it's right before that.
It's buffering really slow.
So once
I just passed Scranny. Street surfing.
Seat surfing. Seat surfer.
Yeah. I said street, no. Whatever.
Street seat surfing?
Yeah, exactly.
How long have you known Scranny, Garrett?
So, I've only known him probably 5 years, but a lot of my friends known him, went to high school with him. He's a gnarly dude.
Yeah. Dude, Chuck's just like, this is my buddy, Scranny, whatever. He rides too. And then we started riding and I'm like, yo, because he just, I don't know. He didn't seem, I'd never heard of him or anything. And then he just started shredding and I'm like, whoa, dude, like this guy's gnarly. I love this guy.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I did some, I wouldn't say stunt work, but I did some stuff for commercials and for that Fast and Furious movie. And, I kind of looked into the stunt deal as a option of, one, I'm done riding freestyle, get in the stunt world, but that's just as hard to get into. And, you got to know the right people and you got to do all this stuff. It's pretty competitive too. But I was looking at it, I was like, dude, Scott, you got to become a stuntman. You're good at everything. Bikes, mopeds. He'll jump off this, building with his dirt bike. He'll do this. He can do a handstand on his skateboard and do a handstand for a mile long. And it's just like, he is the guy that needs to go in the stunt world and just, he has all the talent in the world.
Yeah, he actually did that live on our podcast.
Oh, really?
He set his phone down against like a tire, and then he goes and rides down the street, and then he turns around and he just pops up into a handstand and comes like blazing by the camera.
He Skyped himself standing on the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a still of that jump. Oh, you got the video of it.
I got it. Come on. It's not still.
Fourth gear to the stop, son. I had to rev it so it wouldn't stall in the air.
Is Yamaha gonna take that footage down because of the sound effects?
Yeah, they might. I don't know, dude. They have that. They have that copy written.
Yeah, I have to fucking put everything on mute when I play it because I got shut down last week.
Really?
Yeah. That's YouTube.
That fast?
Yeah, YouTube. So when you apply for Content ID, it basically takes all of your footage and everything, and then it digitally remembers it or whatever. So if I upload anything, it compares my footage against their footage, and if it's got the same footage or sounds, if it's got music and that somebody has claimed, it automatically clips you. So you can actually put in something saying that you're allowed to use it if you have rights to it or whatever. but then you have to submit it, and then that company has to review it and okay it. So I did that with some Red Bull footage of Thomas Pages for something I was doing, and they were just like, they caught it right away. So I submitted a thing saying that I thought it was fair use because I was commentating over it, and Red Bull's like, yeah, we don't fucking care. You can't have it. So that was the end of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've uploaded like a video with a song, and it instantly says this song is not being able to use. You could use, and then they give you a list of all these other songs that you can use, but they're all usually pretty shitty or don't go with the edit of the film,
right?
Or they take the whole video down.
Yeah, I go, or if you run monetization on it on YouTube, they'll just give the money to the artist or whatever, to not the artist, the record label that owns it, you know. So.
Oh, no way! I didn't know that.
But if you go into like create on YouTube, they have a bunch of music people have made for free, or where you just have to write the person's like name.
Profile or whatever.
Yeah, well, it'd be like this was made by whatever. It's always like some like jingle punks or some shit like that, like people just making stuff for there. So that's what I do. I just go and steal all the or use all the free music.
Free stuff.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Any video I posted is either muted or just dirt bike noises.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
like several times I'm like, I try to, it was 5 years ago, it wasn't that bad. Now it's like instant.
Yeah.
You post a video up, and 2 minutes later, hey, you can't use that song. Tear it down, or we've already taken it down, or.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times, even on Instagram, I post up a video, and I was like, how the hell did I know on Instagram? And I only use like a 30-second clip of it.
We get shit taken down all the time.
I'm that video or that song, and they've never came after me, so hopefully it doesn't happen down the road.
Yeah, well, it's like if your account gets big enough, where you probably got like 10,000 people, don't you?
Yeah, it's close to there. I think it's something around there.
Anybody in California that rides dirt bikes has like 10,000 people. On the East Coast, you get like 1,000.
I know. It's it's the scene, bro.
I know it.
It's the scene, bro.
I know it.
Cow.
Yo, what do we? I've said it before. Like, we don't even ride freestyle because we're not in California.
Yeah, right.
We're dirt hump jumpers.
We just hit rain.
Oh man,
I gotta pee, dude. First one of the whole thing.
Good, you made it. You made it a whole 45 minutes.
Well, one of 4.
Nick,
funny.
I get hurt and stuff, and Nick steals my jerseys. Look at the one sitting in the back there.
That's your jersey, huh?
Yeah, I think I crashed my ass off, and he like confiscated it out of my bag. I'm in the hospital.
So
He's
where
like,
are you
oh,
at exactly?
huh?
Where are you located at?
I'm in New Jersey.
Jersey. Oh shit! So you're East Coast. East Coast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been out here? I'm sure with.
No, we did that Nitro Circus deal in
Newark.
Not Newark.
Yeah.
We flew into. I think we flew into Newark, but it was at the Devils Stadium.
Yeah.
Is that Newark?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we were there.
That's what everybody thinks of New Jersey.
Yeah.
You know, they're like.
Well, that's the same thing. People drive up through California. They drive by Bakersfield, and it's like the freeways by all the dairies and the farm and this and that. They're like, oh, Bakersfield, that place is a freaking shithole, you know? But it's like there's nice places if you actually go beyond the freeway and all that. But, yeah, we get the same response.
Yeah. Well, I live out more like and I'd say mountains, but they're not like, I mean, I guess it's mountainous. It's not like huge mountains, you know? But I'm out like more in the mountains and like fields and stuff. So we got tons of corn and mostly cornfields up here and cattle and stuff like that. But even Burlew, like, because he lives down like central Jersey. He's by the shore, but he's still a little. It's more built up than it is here, or at least it's more like, I don't know, it's flatter, I guess. So maybe you can just see all the houses, but. Yeah, he come out here and he's like, yo, you live in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, hardly, dude. There's like a supermarket 5 minutes either way.
Yeah. That's funny.
You don't have any of your 805 beer? Aren't you supposed to?
There's a plug right there.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Have you had this stuff yet?
No.
You guys probably never remember. You probably don't get it over there on the East Coast.
No.
I think I've got it smuggled in.
Yeah, we need to smuggle some in so I can look all cool in front of my friends. I'll be like, you see this Cali beer, bro?
I call it, it's the scene beer now. It's the Cali scene beer now.
That's true.
So what had happened was, I'll tell you a little story on how I got even the sponsorship or whatever. But remember when Volcom was big in motocross and they had Villa Poto and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the rider rep for that, they closed the Moto program, and I was sponsored by Volcom for a little bit, and they closed that down. And then I was talking to a friend of mine that's a beer rep in Bakersfield, and he's like, oh, yeah, they're getting into motocross. I was like, yeah, I saw they have some jerseys with Fast House and all that. So, yeah, you need to hit him up. And then he gave me the guy's name, and I was like, oh, shit. His name was Troy Powell. I don't know if you heard his name.
No.
But,
I don't remember any of his name.
So, Firestone Walker is the brewing company, and their blonde beer, they're like more about their IPAs and all that kind of stuff. And their blonde beer wasn't doing very good in sales, so they wanted to rebrand it. So all they did was rebrand their blonde ale to 805 beer. The dude from Volcom to come in and do all the marketing for it, and it blew up like insane, especially in California.
Yeah.
It's a decent beer. It's good, but it's the exact same beer that didn't sell 4 years ago. But they just made it all black and white and made it look cool. And now it's selling. They can't keep enough on the shelves.
And they put it on jerseys, and that was it.
Yeah.
And they got motocross superstar Garrett Ahlf running it.
Oh yeah, I was just I was like, shit, I'll run a hat or a logo for some free beer.
Yeah, so, we need to get the podcast sponsored.
What's that?
We could be listen, 805 beer, man. We could be drinking 805 beer on this every Tuesday night. That's all I'm saying.
All the 805 beers.
all the 805 on the East Coast. Bring it over to the East Coast.
There you go.
We won't even say what we're drinking right now. We won't talk about it.
Negro? You're drinking the Negro?
I got some Brooklyn Ale.
I got
trying
the
to
Negro
stay true
beer.
to
I got
form.
that Brooklyn Summer Lager's the best.
Well, this is the winter lager.
I'm usually drinking Lagunitas, which is semi-local.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
Semi-local to where?
It's the best, but then I was... Huh?
Semi-local to where?
Well, it's in California and it's in Chicago.
Yeah,
but when I drink the Lagunitas, then I just forget the end of the podcast.
Let me grab another beer.
I'll send you the guy's info, and you can hit him up and tell him that I sent you.
Yes, please. I'm going to go to the bathroom and get a beer. Talk to you next.
All right. We can't let it go dead right now, or I get fired. Just going to let it go dead.
It's funny just seeing just a blank screen, like when it pans off to hit.
Can you not hear me? Am I on at all?
No, you're on, but it's just I'm saying on his. Like there's you can see his mirror. Yeah, you can see his mirror and all. It just looks funny.
It's the same. That's standard. Clint.
Yeah.
Because I texted him right before we were supposed to go on. I'm like, hey, are we doing the podcast tonight? And then I started looking for my computer. I couldn't find it. And I realized I left it in my truck. And then he's like, oh, man, I took a nap. And I thought I wouldn't sleep that long. Yeah, he said he woke up like 5 minutes before the podcast. He's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, whatever his time.
Shit. If I took a nap before that, I couldn't go. I'd have to sleep all night.
I'm like, you'll be up all night, dude.
Yeah.
He said he took like an hour and a half nap. And woke up at 9. Like, woke up at 9.
Yeah. I would have not woken up. I would have slept through it all.
I woke up
because I was texting. I was like, do you send me a link? Do you send me like how does this work? And nothing. I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait. And then he texts me, hey, sorry, dude, I took a nap. This is what you need to do. I'll send you a link. It wasn't working. I was like, all right.
Listen, I got up at 5:30.
Dirt bike. This is the most dirt bike run podcast. Like, everybody's late every time. It never goes as planned. It's just like a show. It's like you show up and you're asking where stuff's at, and nothing's like you were told. I love it.
Yeah, that's one thing I did get spoiled with the Nitro tour. Everything was just so, like, everything was planned. Your flights were done. This was done. You had mechanics there. You don't have to work on your bikes. You know, every single show, gas was filled up, brakes were checked, chains were checked, suspension was bled. You know, you just show up, you ride the show, you park the bike in the trailer, and you go back to your hotel room.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I wasn't part of either of these, but like the IFMXA days, how you hear guys talking about that is like similar. You know, like this is like a small time in history for freestyle. How
that wasn't similar at all.
Huh?
That wasn't similar at all. I'm pretty sure Garrett rode.
I'm saying not similar, but the way he will reminisce on these days.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Garrett rode some IFMA's ramp-to-ramp ones especially. It was just shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was just you rode from... I remember doing when was it? In 2005, I went down to San Diego and when they were still doing dirt. And I think it was like when Twitch started flipping and Jim McNeil were flipping, and they were like battling or whatever. And I legit 75-foot ramp. It was always like, you know, it was still at the point where I would set up my ramp in my backyard and I'd pull it back to where I thought it was far enough and I could do my tricks. And I was like, okay, cool. I never measured it or anything. And they go in this small arena and they're like, oh, it's set up at 75 feet. And their bikes were all running crisp and everything. Mine was still like stock. I had stock suspension. Did the circle a couple times, did some tricks, and then I came out of the corner one time and trying to get on the throttle, and I did a wheelie into the ramp, you know, and then I compressed, and then I just took all my momentum, and then I just backside of the landing, and that was the end of my eye until like 2007 or something when they started doing the ramp-to-ramp shit.
Yeah, the ramp-to-dirt ones were gnarly because you'd have literally like 48 feet of run at like 74-foot gap.
Yeah, it was gnarly. Like it was like you had to hit the berm and just hold it all, you know, get in the power band right out of the berm.
Yeah.
To do the jump.
Yeah, and it was crazy because
something that
you couldn't chop at all. I tried to I was like, I'm just gonna run the berm harder so I don't have to like be quite as You can't. You have to just roll the berm, and by the time you get to the end, just be burying it, rolling it as fast and hard as you can to pin right through the face.
Yeah, and hoping that your bike gets in the power band to give you that little bit of horsepower to get over the... I wasn't used to that. I was used to like that.
That's
was like,
what it was. You know, and
so it was like arena cross almost. You had to be...
Yeah.
It was racing.
Yo, no, like it was weird. You couldn't really race the turns. You had to just go through the turns, get like as straight as possible or through towards the exit, and then start rolling from there. Because if you tried to run the berm real hard, like you couldn't. It was weird. You couldn't do it. You had to just go around and be like roll it. Like I said, like you said, you would have to wait. You're like hoping your motor comes on as you get to the ramp because that's how tight they were. They would literally come on like 8 feet before the ramp. Your motor would just start to pull.
And you know, half you guys are riding some fucking turds.
Oh yeah.
Waiting for it.
That's what I was talking to Nate about. He had some clapped out Suzuki 250 he was riding the first time I ever went. Jesse Olson, he had some, maybe it just looked like shit. And somebody else had a bike that sounded crazy. And I'm like, you guys are jumping this stuff with that? Holy shit. And throwing
I just remember
down.
Going there and Drake McElroy's bike, and his dad was down there wrenching on it, and it sounded so damn good. His bike sounded the best out of everyone's, and obviously that was like the year Drake was just killing everything, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do this, and then go out there and weeded myself, and then a friend of mine came with me too, and he lasted a little bit longer, and then he ended up doing the same thing as me and wheelie, trying to clutch the berm and get that top end speed before you hit the ramp, not letting it sneak on in the last 5 to 8 feet.
Yeah, you just gotta trust it.
Yeah,
God, that was scary.
I was not prepared for that at all.
Probably the 4-stroke would have been better for that, huh? Think about being on a 450 now. That would at least it would have had. You knew it would have come on because it would already been pulling a little bit. And you would just have 100%. Way more torque.
But like a 250, a 250 4-stroke pretty much is like a 250 2-stroke. So like when we did
with
shows where it was tight, huh?
Oh, I was thinking it's like I always tell people it's like a 125 with a lot of low end.
Yeah, it's like I can ride it, but but it was always like you're nervous right at the top. Like I remember I did a show with Jack Rowe, and he's like, let's bet. It's when he just switched to 450, and he's like, I'm gonna hit. We're doing 80. I'm like, no, dude. I've been doing like what? Like 2 weeks before, Jason's telling me, no, you don't want to hit this ramp at over 65, and now Jack wants to hit it at 80, and I'm like, let's just ease into this whole thing because I'm like, I would just be wrapped out. I had plenty of run, but it didn't even matter. I didn't want to go to third if I didn't have to. Because it was at that point where it was like you were, I don't know. I just didn't want to fuck with it.
Jack re-geared his 250F so that second gear would do the same as like a 252 stroke.
He told me all about that. I went from a 250 2-stroke to a 254 stroke, and it just is the same.
Second gear though was as long
every time.
Oh. Dude, he would hit shit. We'd be jumping some big stuff, and he's like, I'm in second. And I'm like, you're still in second? Like, no way.
On 250F?
He went he changed, like, his front gear, is what he said. Like, he went smaller or bigger. I don't know what he told me. He had some crazy...
See, that scares me, like, messing with the gearing and all that. Like, that's what I loved about the 2-strokes. Like, you just get on the YZ250 with the stock gearing, and you ran it. Well, I did.
Yes.
And then, when I switched to the 4-strokes, like, oh, no, you can get a bigger gear in the back, slows it down a little. I was like, slows it down? What the fuck do I want to do that for? I don't want to deal with all that bullshit. I want to jump it like I did my 250. Trust me.
It's normal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is second is so long, like you could go 110 feet in second on a 450 just like by being a little bit off on your throttle.
Yeah. No, I did that at Nitro Circus, and that's how I broke my back.
You just went to flat?
Well, that and there's 15-mile-an-hour tailwinds. And the last jump that I did, I could just feel it. Like right when I hit the ramp, I just felt the wind push me. I was like, oh, shit, this is going to suck. I missed the whole landing.
So do you run stock gearing?
No, I put a 52 on my on the rear.
Yeah.
And it's like it comes with a 49, I think.
Okay.
Or 48. And I put a 52 on the back.
Are you running Hondas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they are now, but yeah, that's the bike I had. Came with a 48 originally. It was McNarl's old bike, and he had a 52 on it, and yeah, you're like almost wrapped out in second doing 75 feet.
Yeah, and then I got the 17. I think I put a 52 on it, thinking like, oh, it can't be that much different from my 11, but it definitely was. And at home, I felt comfortable on it, but when I went to ramp, you know how like you go to a ramp and it looks like 100 foot.
Yeah.
And just it was that 75 foot. If you haven't jumped one in a while, you're like, damn, why does that ramp look so big?
Was it a tight floor?
That doesn't look right.
Put it closer.
Yeah, put it closer. So, but I think I could have ran a 53 in the rear or something on my 17 because, yeah, I overjump shit all the time. I hate that feeling of making yourself go slower. I'd rather go faster over a jump than slower.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime I try to be perfect, I usually case the shit out of it.
You get cocky?
No,
I got this.
No, when I'm like nervous about something and I'm like, don't go long on this. Don't go long. We're just going to be right in the pocket. And I'm like, doo, off of the knuckle.
Yep.
So I never tell myself that.
Freestyle, man.
How do you know McNarls? He's from Arizona. Were you guys on like the Boost tour together?
Yeah, the Freestyle Max Monster Burnett tour. Him, myself, and John Dissler. That was the first year I actually, I did a little bit of shows here and there for Mark, but that was the first year I toured with him, where I put my bike on the bus and went around. And, he has 2 buses that go around. And, it was when Dissler, he was driving the bus, helped setting up and riding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's one of the OGs too. Yeah, I'm not saying he was on the older side of the crew. We called him Grandpa, and Gramps was taking care of us on that tour. But that's where I met Brian, and me and Brian became really good friends. And it was Grandpa Dissler, and then I was Dad because I just had my first kid, and then McNarls was we call him son. So if you ever see me talk to him, I was like, "Made me proud, son." It's because of that tour. We bonded pretty good. It was a fun tour. It was one of the better crews because you know how you always get on something and there's always someone you butt heads with, or you're like, "God, that guy's freaking annoying as shit," or he does this. And being on a bus on a tour like that, you really learn about the frictions between human beings.
Yeah. I booked my own stuff for most of my career, so I tried to avoid that.
Yeah.
I was just like, this guy's an asshole. I'm not hiring him. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. So you were on that bus the entire tour the whole time?
So I would fly home when I could, because I still had a job at home working for my dad, so I can go home, make a little extra money, and then like fly home. I was like, shit, if I spend $300 on a plane ticket and I work for that week, I'm at least at home that week for, break even and go see my kid and my wife. But Dis and McNarls, they were on the bus for all summer pretty much. They got to go home a couple of times. That was it.
I bet that thing just fucking stunk.
Oh, well, actually, John, Big Dis, he kept that bus clean. I mean, he worked his ass off. Yeah, oh yeah. And there was one guy, one of the workers that helped set up. They had to kick him off. One guy got fired, and they brought another guy in, and then that guy didn't work out. They fired him, brought another guy in, and it was just, that's where you get annoyed, because it'd be like, we're finally getting used to someone, and then someone messes up, they just send them home, get a new guy out.
Like helpers or riders?
Helpers more. And I've never been on a tour where they kicked off a rider, as far as I know, but I've heard it happening before. And announcers. There's been some announcers that are like, okay, this guy, he needs to be sent home now. some of the stuff he says to the crowd, and not, being presentable, being out there hungover. We got Garrett out here, freestyle.
Yeah.
We got clap. Yeah. It's like, okay, you're like half the show.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, with people like that, is that they will start hanging out with, people, and then they're trying to impress them because these guys are doing all this crazy stuff, and they're just talking or whatever. So, and they don't have to even ride the next day, so it's easier to get more out of control.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. Exactly.
It's the dream. It's the dream job.
Yeah, they're like, look, these guys are whatever, they're partying, and then next thing you know, because we're like, I got to at least try and keep it a little bit under wraps here, because I got to ride my motorcycle again tomorrow. That's going to be scary.
Yeah. Be scary, especially like if you get wind or anything like that, and you're a little bit hungover and not wanting to ride anyway, just makes it even worse. It's like, oh, what the hell? Don't get me wrong, I've been in the situation where I'm like, I should not be riding my motorcycle right now.
Yeah.
No way.
For sure.
And we got 3 shows today. It's going to be a long freaking day.
Yeah. Definitely. One time we were at the circus and we drank all night, and then they'd start calling us at like 8 in the morning to go in and practice, and we were like, we drank until seriously probably 4. And we go in there, we set up practice, and then we get done, everything's fine. Well, that night when we go back in to ride the floor, I realized I remember nothing of practice. I have no idea. I have no idea where, like, there were marks on the floor. Otherwise, I was like, so I know I was turning here, but that's about it. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It worked out.
Yep. Normally always
did that with Cook. Like, he called me. He's like, where are you at? And I had set my phone up. I was charging it. I was in the locker room of the fucking arena for the circus. I don't know how I got in. Last thing I remember leaving was with the tiger lion tamer guy and the ringmaster. Like, they're like, come on, let's go. And then we went to a bar or something. Derek, of course, went home. He calls me. He's, where you at? I'm at the stadium. And I was totally fine. And we do like one of those morning circus shows for the school kids or whatever. And I'm like, you got 5 hits, 6 hits, whatever it is. I'm like, I'm good. I almost missed one. I had like one finger on a seat grab. I was fine. Last hit, I go a little long and like slapped my head, and it was like instant hangover. And I was like, oh, I got sick. I had a headache. I was like, fuck, dude, I did the whole thing. I was fine. And then the whole day just sucked. I thought I had it nailed too.
Maybe it didn't catch up to you yet. I actually did that at one of those on the Burnett tour up in New York, or maybe it was Maine. No, it was in New York State, and maybe it wasn't for him. I don't know. For Miller and all those guys were there, and we went out and we got drunk. And the next day, I woke up and started driving, and I'm like, all good, driving, and all of a sudden, I just start to get like a little bit of a headache and stuff. And 2 hours later, I made Casey drive Higgins, and I'm laying in the back of the truck just like, ugh, I'm going to throw up. I was never awake for a hangover to like set in before. But it was just, I just felt, I was like getting worse and worse. I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah, no, that's the worst. I mean, I remember I was doing shows at Magic Mountain, and it was 3 shows a day, and I do 7 jumps a show. So I'd like jump out one for intro and do like 2 tricks, and like it was basic. It was just do like don't do anything crazy. Do seat grabs, heel clickers, knack-knacks, like a one-hander. Like just you don't have to try to do anything gnarly. So after the first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, this is good. I can have some beers or whatever. And then a friend of mine came up and from Bakersfield up to Magic Mountain with me, and we started getting loose and drinking some Captain Morgan and all that stuff. And then one of the guys that do the Globe of Death, he's from Vegas, so he's been doing this thing, doing the Globe of Death for like 26 years or something like that. Single guy still, and He's like, dude, you got to come check out my stereo system in my truck. I spent like $10,000 on it. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go check it out. You know, he was drinking. We just ran into each other. So he opens up his truck, and then he's got like this, I'd say, 24-inch screen that came down from the ceiling. He's like, he had Green Day live. I don't know where they were on DVD. And he opened up his doors and everything and pulled the screen down. You can watch it through the back window. And he cranked it up, and we just sat there and drank beer and were drinking until the hotel people came in and are like, hey, you got to turn that off because our guests are, you know, kind of upset. It's like, oh, it's only 9 o'clock, 9:30. We're shit-faced right now. But we were having a full-blown, like, concert in the parking lot with Green Day playing. And then I was like, our first show's not till 4 in the afternoon tomorrow. So I'm good. I've been jumping this ramp for a couple weeks. I wake up at like 3, just like, where the fuck am I? I don't know what is going on. So I go to the venue or whatever. I don't even do practice. I'm like, I'm not going to do practice. I've done it. I just need to sleep, you know, rest before the show. And I did the first jump, and I came back around, and I hit the ramp, and it felt like my legs just gave out. My head hit the handlebar. I just did like a half boner air and landed. I was like, oh, my God, that is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me my whole life. And I just pulled up, and I'm like behind the stage because the venue was so tight. And then they're like, okay, and the motocross. And I was like, I'm jumping it. All right. I just must have some technical difficulties with his bike. I was like, okay, I got to get ready for the next jump, right? So the same thing. They go, all right, the motocross. And I come back around. I hit the ramp. I just do like that and land. I just do like a quick one-hander. Came back in. The next one was like I had to do 3 jumps. And I was like, I'm not jumping the rest of the show. I don't care if they fire me tomorrow. I'm going to die. I'm dead. So I did that, and they're like, hey, what happened? I was like, me and Laterno, that was a guy on the Globe of Death, we were partying all night last night. I was like, I need some sleep. So I got an hour of sleep till the next show. I just laid in the couch in the locker room or whatever, and then I was dialed the rest of the day. But, yeah, it was scary as hell. And then from that day on, I was like, I'm not doing that. And then it's happened a couple more times after. Yeah. Horrible experience.
Dude, you know what it is? It's like your depth perception or something. Because I've done that where I just didn't even account for the ramp yet. And it just caught me off guard. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell was that? Because I saw it coming and everything, but right when I went to go preload, like,
you were already
my whole
into
body
it.
just gave out, like, smacked my head on the handlebar, like holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I was like getting ready for it, and all of a sudden I was just like, I'm already in the ramp. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Did you ever jump like a bicycle in the dark? Like these kids had these ramps on their sidewalk, and I'd go hit it. I'd get drunk and go hit it. It's like before you even realize you're taking off, you're already in it, and then you're landing. Same thing.
Yeah. No, I've done shows where they're like, oh yeah, there's gonna be plenty of light, and I go out there, they have like a halogen light with an extension cord. Like, is this cool? It's like, fuck, man.
Dude,
why do I put myself in this situation? Yeah. Like, I don't get it.
I've had cars.
You know, same thing. Like, it's just.
I'm like, hey, get those 2 cars over there and put your high beams on this ramp.
I think one time we were at a biker rally or something, and there was no light, and a guy had a Razor or a Rhino or something with the LED bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we need right now, or else we're not doing a show. It was like 11:30 at night. Our first show was at 9 o'clock at night.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta take my dog out. Oh.
What's he doing?
I gotta take my dog out.
I don't know.
Take your dog out?
What do you want her to
just
pee
let
on
her
the
go.
floor?
He'll come back. Here, where's Randy? I'll let Randy go. He'll come back someday.
No, that's because we're in a condo.
Social attack, whatever attacks her.
No, I'm not worried about her. I'm worried about the neighbors complaining.
Yeah. She needs to assert her dominance on the neighbor.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the dog. She ain't doing anything.
Clint's gotta walk his fur baby.
Yep. Gotta take care of him.
No way. My dog's the worst. No, he's alright. Which dog is this? That's not Stella. He's showing us other dogs. I don't know what dog that was.
How many dogs does he have?
I think that's his girlfriend's dog.
Oh.
This is all I know from Instagram.
Yeah.
I was going to say something. I flat out forgot it. Oh, he's back. Back with talking shit. Did you let Bethany's dog out?
That dog can hold its pee way longer. I'll let them out. I'll let them both out before I go to bed. But Stella went out there.
Bedtime out there, man.
And got right to it.
She went already?
Yeah. I didn't put her on the leash.
That was the fastest pee I've ever seen.
Yo,
Yeah,
because
girls are efficient.
she was like, listen, I'm about to pee myself. Let me...
Dude, my dog would have sniffed everything and ran around for fucking 10 minutes.
No, my dog lived at the circus, so it was like, listen, you need to pee right now in this parking lot. And she's like, there's no good smells. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. This is where you're peeing. She goes, okay.
No good smells. There's tiger piss.
You're not out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yo,
Maybe, I don't know.
she realized very quick that those tigers wanted to eat her as a snack and did not like them.
Yeah, she's a dog. She's smart.
And they were like, tried to lunge against the side of the cage. And she was like, yeah, I don't like those. Let's stay really far away from them. I got a good story about being hungover at the circus and the tigers. And we're sitting...
Aren't most stories hungover at the circus?
Aren't what?
Aren't most stories hungover at the circus? I don't...
Yeah, circus people like to drink.
Twice.
Here's the thing. They're South Americans, and so normally the shows are like 9 or 10 o'clock, but so they have to get in there an hour early to do like paint kids' faces and sell them fucking balloons or whatever, inflatable Dora the Explorers or whatever they gotta sell them. Those light up swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta get in there and sell them all that stuff. So they're in there an hour early. So they gotta be in there by 9, and that's normal. You got like whatever 10, 2, and 7 or some shit like that. Well, if you only have a 2 o'clock show, those people are like, we're celebrating, and they have this whole spread of many meats and steaks and, and all different kinds of salads and shit, and everybody's got their own bottle of whiskey. So, plus, the tiger guys, or actually the elephant guys, are usually the fun guys to party with.
Yeah, they drink the hardest.
Or the tiger guys, too. Any animal trainers are usually, they party pretty hard. But
I just remember the trapeze guys drink hard, but it's very specific of like when they drink.
Yeah.
And it was fucking tequila with like hot sauce in the bottom of it.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that because you tried to off yourself the next day.
Yeah, it's true.
Like that's when we partied with Roger or what the fuck his name was? I don't know what his name was.
We were partying with Alex and damn it, why can I not remember his name?
It's like an 80s BMX bike. I just remember that's his name.
Something
with an R.
Damn it, stop talking. I don't remember. I can't even... Cortez. The Cortez family. And
I just remember I got a shot, and it was... I don't know if it was tequila. I don't drink tequila, but it had hot sauce in the bottom of it. Nobody said anything, and I was like, "Why? Who does that? What's the point of that? It didn't get me more drunk. It was horrible."
That sounds like Little John's manager. He'll do shots. He'll get you shots that are like, what the hell is it? It's like Patron with Sambuca and hot sauce in it.
Oh, no, that's gross.
We
Sambuca's gross on its own, much less hot sauce.
Yeah, it was
Here,
gnarly.
I'm gonna look up what's his name's name.
I think he was just testing me. He messaged me not long ago on Facebook.
Who?
If I could remember his name, I would tell you.
I thought maybe that would like trigger it.
Alex was the younger brother, the actual flyer, and I'm trying to think of the catcher's name, the dude that like catches everybody and throws them back.
I'm looking. I got it. It's some of the
Robinson Cortez, yes.
Robinson.
Damn it.
I knew it was like a bike name or something.
Yeah, the Robinson. The bike name in the 90s.
Exactly. Where are we going with that one? I forget.
We were just saying that
One time you're hungover.
Yeah.
I think is how it started.
Well, we basically veered off from whatever story I was telling to the fact to who likes to drink at the circus.
That to be everybody.
Everybody. It's traveling like town. You know, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's dated everybody. Like.
Oh my god.
But traveling around the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why everybody gets drunk, and then being freestyle motocrossers, we're very easily influenced. So.
Oh yeah.
So you end up with a
We
lot
don't
of.
normally drink, but when the pressure's on,
These
we're
fucking
not
guys.
gonna be outdone.
Damn, I should have worn my Rourke jersey that I pulled out the other day for the podcast.
Bust it out.
Yeah, that's sick right there.
It's even got dirt splattered all over it.
Really?
Yeah. It's got the cut off
Oh,
sleeves.
man.
Isn't that not Chris Rourke right there?
100%.
I just remember him doing that big step down in terra firma or whatever that was.
I don't know. He got gnarly everywhere.
Yeah, I did.
Shit, yeah. Remember,
Here.
I just picture him
Speaking of,
riding around sleeveless. Doing rock solids. There you go. I'm Chris Rourke. Nick is me.
This is not Chris Rourke's. This is so after Clint was hanging out with Robinson drinking spicy tequila, he went and off himself. And I don't know what happened. His bike died or something.
That's
I
my
went to the
story.
hospital, make sure he's okay, and steal his jersey.
Oh my god.
That's my
Dude,
story.
that jersey, this thing stinks like shit, Clint.
Yeah, we rode 4 days in a row. I'm pretty sure that's the only gear I had.
Draping over myself.
Oh my god.
Oh, did they cut it off of me? Is that just
Yeah,
the
they
back?
cut it off. Look at it.
Oh.
Like fucking, the arms are cut
A
open.
blanket.
Fuck, it stinks like.
Why don't you
Wow.
wash it?
Cause sometimes I just wrap it around like a
This
scarf.
one, Rourke was sponsored so much that this has got dirt on it. Doesn't even smell like sweat. Could you imagine that?
Well, if he got knocked out, and was laying on a circus floor for 10 minutes.
That's not where all that
probably smells
sweat came from. Research that if you sweat when you get knocked out.
You were sweating your balls off. Cause they were trying. I remember the circus girl was fanning Clint, and then the paramedic was like, "Back it up, back it up," because he's like, "You can't fan him." I'm like, "He's fucking. He might be dead. Let him get some fresh air before he kicks the bucket."
Yeah. I'm going to go with the motor, or it cut out. But I don't know that
Nobody
for
knows
sure.
what happened. Literally, last jump of the whole weekend, I look back and Clint's bouncing off the landing after our little half train we did. I'm like, Come on.
So that bike had cut out on me before. Actually, this is how I met Dino. I went to come out of the corner. I got onto the gas, and then something happened. I backed off just backed off a little bit, and then got back into it. And as I got back into it, it started to bog. I was so close to the ramp, I was just like, I'm just going to pin it all the way to make sure that I make the gap. And it just killed it the rest of the way. It was just goes, boom. And was full on engine brake up the face.
Did you get rid of that thing or what?
No, I'm trying to. You want a YZ250?
Anybody want to buy a bike? Clint's selling it.
So Garrett just texted me. Apparently he locked up. There he is. There's his logo now.
Is that why he was staring at us like that for the past 2 minutes?
Yeah.
I think he's just like,
I'm over it.
I don't talk to you guys anymore. I'm Ahlf.
We've had this.
Cats.
Yeah. We had this happen before. So with my, I guess I tried to connect to Facebook Live.
Did you stream to Facebook?
No, because I couldn't get it to load that page as well.
Well, because my in-laws, they watch this show. They're one of 3 people watching. And they were like, "Hey, are you live yet?" And I'm like, "No, not yet." And they're like, "We found you. Don't worry about it."
You were just trying to pretend.
I was hiding out. They usually find it on Facebook is what I'm getting at.
But I don't normally. I did it last week on Facebook, and that's the only time.
Dude, we should do all of our sales as Bitcoins. Like anything that we don't actually put a product out, do it as Bitcoins. Because kids will throw Bitcoins away because they don't feel it's real, and then we can just sit on it and make some money. Did you see Dino's brother was doing that?
No.
He Decal Jones.
Yeah.
He was doing 10% off if you bought in Bitcoin.
Huh.
Because like he knew his whatever product he's putting out, and then his time. It's it's a gamble, but
yeah. I almost bought some Bitcoin like 2 years ago, and then I got hurt, and then that was I would have been selling it right now. Huh?
You wouldn't be talking to me right now.
I'll be selling it.
You'd be talking to me like in a year from now when you blew all your Bitcoin.
Yeah. But now I feel like now that everybody's
I don't like it anymore.
all about it, yeah, it's over with. The people that were making their money bought this like 2 years ago when I should have.
You gotta read this book, The Internet of Money. It's a good one because it talks about Bitcoin, but it talks about it's more like cryptocurrency, how that's gonna take it over. Bitcoin may or may not be good. I got some Bitcoin. It's done all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like tripled my money. I only put like a couple $100 in it.
You're like, I should have bet the house.
I don't know. I don't gamble with anything but my liver.
That's not gambling. You know what you're gonna do.
No, I don't. Maybe I have like superior.
Liver?
I got Scottish heritage. Those people have been drinking forever. And Polish. I'm just banking on stereotypes, okay?
Are Poles big drinkers?
Polish people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they drink? Polish vodka?
Vodka and beer. That's what I was saying. Like, oh, you didn't see that. I sent it to you. I was at my buddy's for his birthday, and it was went to some bar where this Polish guy had a accordion, and he was singing the Polish national anthem, and it was "We don't drink beer," or "We drink beer here because they don't have beer in heaven." And he was real Polish. He was the real deal. Is Ahlf gone?
Yeah, his internet card died.
Has he got Magic Jack? What's going on over there?
I don't know, but all I know is I poured myself a glass of eggnog for when I finish this beer. So now I'm just going to sit here and drink with you. Is
that for real eggnog?
Yeah, it's Christmas time.
What's an eggnog?
I don't know. It's nog of the egg.
It's fucking gross.
You're fucking gross.
I know.
What do you drink
You're
while
eggnog.
What do you drink while you decorate your tree? Just fucking beer.
Just moonshine, and then I swing at my wife, and I fucking. I ruin Christmas every year.
That's what men do, isn't it?
I want my kids to have good memories of Dad blacking out on when we set up the tree. You drink like the machine. Did you see that? I've never seen anybody else drink like this.
I learned it from Ray Bennett.
Has he been hanging out with the machine?
From my illegitimate son. I don't know. I don't think so.
I've seen your illegitimate son on the grams.
On the grams, yeah. He got himself a colored girl.
He's got himself a what state is that from? That's where I tried to make it to Guyana when I missed all my flights.
You tried to get your black belt?
Trinidad. No, because I missed my first flight from Chicago. I couldn't make it to an airport 2 hours away. So I missed that flight. That flight went to Miami, so I had to fly out of Fort Lauderdale. And then when I went from Fort Lauderdale, I landed in Trinidad at like midnight or 1 or something. Nobody was there. That airport's like, it's a gymnasium. Nobody's there. Nothing's open. So I sat there and watched Tommy Boy and fell asleep on the floor. And then a plane landed from like LaGuardia, and it was all Guyanese or Puerto Ricans or something. And I get on, and I'm the only white kid walking on this plane. And I remember seeing this one guy, he had big chains and stuff, and he was like sunglasses on the plane. He's like walking up and down the aisle being real loud. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then
he did it.
I land in Guyana. A guy picks me up. He just points at me because I'm the only white guy that gets off the plane. Drives me to the thing. The next day I meet Roger, and I don't know, we had a party or something. It was like Roger's best friend was the guy with the gold chains and the glasses on the plane. Like, eh. I'm like, I saw you on the plane. He's like, yeah, man, I saw you. You're the white guy. Like, hilarious. That was a crazy trip.
Dude, when I went on the safari, I was the only white guy. So much, in fact, that they called me, hey, white boy. Just everybody, white boy. Yeah. No matter what was going on.
How's that sunburn coming, man?
Yeah.
I heard that like every day.
No, the driver kept yelling at me to get into the sun, and I was like, listen, I was like the color of this eggnog. Because it's like April. It was right over Easter week or whatever. So it's like I haven't seen the sun in months, and the driver guy's like, the driver's like, get in the sun, get in the sun. I'm like, dude, listen, if I stand in the sun for a couple of hours, I'm gonna be burnt. Like, I can't do that yet.
They don't understand shade.
No, I'm like, I need to get the base coat here.
If you're just listening to this, you got to go on Two Wheels to Freedom YouTube. And watch, what is it called?
Well, there's
Guyana.
Yeah, so there's I put the whole video together. It's 27 minutes, or there's it's done by like days. There's like 3 different sections, but it's Guyana Safari. But
that was a good video.
Yeah,
I watched the pieces.
No, it was fun. I mean, and I just did that with a GoPro. I just took the GoPro with me, filmed riding, and then filmed myself talking to people, asking them questions and shit. So.
Speaking of trips, I know you were fucking asleep 5 minutes before the show, but the Motocross Nations is an hour and a half from my house.
Oh yeah.
So let's do a thing. Let's go there. It's Redwood. It's the best track.
Cossie's going, and his dad, his brother, and I think Nelson. Yeah, I don't know. I may have to.
Are you going or no?
I may have to.
All right, well, go with them. Go fuck yourself.
What are you talking about? Yeah,
I'll go. I don't know. I know
listen, if I'm hanging out with Doug, I can't hang out with you. That's how it is. We're friends from different periods of my life, so.
That's fine.
You guys can't intermingle.
Be ugly.
You guys can't intermingle.
Me and Doug would probably meet each other. I'd destroy him. I've met Doug without you.
That's fine.
We might even hit it off, and then we'd be like, why are we talking to Clint?
I like Doug. Most people, I would say maybe, but Doug and I are like every time he was just up here with Red Bull, or in New York.
Is that what he does?
Yeah, he works for Red Bull now as like a sales manager for Southeast right now. But actually, he was talking to somebody about trying to get moved up here to New York. But he's for real one of my best friends. Like as soon as we see each other, it's like we never lost any time at all. It's like we just saw each other the other day, and it's been like 5 years. His wife was even going, "What's going on with you two? Like you guys, Doug's like a totally different person when you guys are together because we have all these inside jokes that we constantly say at each other and shit."
Yeah, but that was all IFMA stuff, right?
And monster truck shows and no, actually, so I met Doug way before I started doing IFMA, or they started doing the ramp to ramp IFMAs, because I did the very first year of that. I think we rode monster truck shows and stuff before that.
Of freestyle when it was.
Well, the glory days for people you know.
That's what I wanted.
In the U.S., yeah.
When I got into it, I'm like, hey, where the fuck's everybody at?
No, that was a good time. That's why I actually made amends with John for a while, just so that I could do that show. And then it turned into, I don't know, some shit happened. They were trying to cut budgets and stuff, and I was trying to rally everybody together to stand against that. And
Are you forming a union?
That caused a new riff.
You're a union organizer.
I was trying to be the Teamsters.
I thought he would appreciate that from being from Jersey.
That's why he knew the power we'd have. He didn't
really appreciate it. He just wanted his cut.
He was the free market, yeah, and I was trying to be the union.
He wasn't the free market. He was the fucking bald asshole. What's up with Ahlf?
He just texted me. I think that internet card, he said it died. I don't really understand what an internet card is, so maybe
it's a magic check, dude.
To go into the side of the computer or something. I don't know. I can barely work this.
You can barely work Apple.
Yeah, which is so intuitive that,
So intuitive.
A baby could do it.
Intuitive.
The problem is that babies can do it because they're just used to technology. How about that?
Bryn just sent me a bunch of Snapchats of me looking like a jerk sitting on the fireplace right before the podcast started. And that's an Android. How intuitive is that?
You know what? I think that's a good explanation of freestyle. So when in the beginning, this is all sports, and knowledge compounds, and think about fighters. Fighters learn from old fighters who learned from old fighters. So technically, new ones should always be better than the last ones. And the hardest thing of freestyle is breaking the mental barrier of things. So let's say Carey Hart. Nobody wanted to do a backflip, right? Him and Travis talked about it, but he was the one that actually broke the mental barrier of the backflip. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of people after that started doing backflips. And then once Metzger went to a regular ramp, or 75 feet, then people started doing that. But it's always the first person that takes on the mental stress of breaking that and being like, no, this can be done, that really deserves the credit. Because it's easy once you've seen somebody can do something. I mean, even as hard as it is.
Once somebody breaks the barrier, then everybody realizes they can, run the fucking 5-minute mile or whatever's
4-minute
fast.
mile. Yeah, which is a ridiculous premise if you think that everybody thought the 4-minute mile was impossible. It was never going to happen. And then somebody ran it. And then that next year, like 5 people ran, or maybe more, ran under 4-minute miles. So did people get faster? Or did all of a sudden they believe that they could do it?
Tony Robbins has a whole thing about this. It's all mental. Once somebody breaks it, then everybody. He's like, how do 5 other people come the next couple years and break that same barrier that was unbreakable for like 5 years?
Yeah,
because it's all mental.
Well, that's why people go, is Carey Hart the first one to do a backflip? I don't think so because he didn't run away. Fuck you! I watched him backflip a motorcycle and land on the wheels.
Yeah, and then
I don't give a fuck. He got bucked off. He did a fucking backflip. At that time, nobody even thought that it was a thing. Like, they're like, yeah, right, you can't even do it.
It was the whole, he had it kind of figured out, because that's not even how people flip anymore. They don't do it to a step-up style jump.
No, because that sucks.
He just told you that, like, you can get this thing upside down and not die.
That's my point.
And then Metz saw it, and Metz was like, oh, you can back it up, and you can do this. And then I saw it, and I was like, I can land on my fucking head, but not die.
Well, so
and that was it.
How about this with Metzger? Everybody was doing super kicker flips. And X Games. Like, so I rode the Boost Mobile Tour, the Burnett Tour, the week before that, and Metzger was on it. And he was only flipping super kickers. And I remember he goes, I'm going to flip a full-size jump, like a second gear jump. And I go, do you think you can do that? And he goes, I know I can. And I was like, whoa, all right. All right. I was like literally, legitimately, do you think that can happen?
Your comment to fucking kill his vibe.
Exactly. He didn't need my negativity in his life. I agree. Yeah, I was an asshole. It can be done. He did it. Who the fuck am I?
But that's how you have to be. You have to be like, you have to know it, not just say it, but you have to know it, and then anybody that approaches you, you have to make sure you get that out of your way, because that could get in your head and fuck you up.
Yeah. Yo, I built some jumps at my place in Georgia, and I knew at the time Austin was being very negative about stuff. And I was like, he's going to start being negative about these dirt jumps, and then he's going to make these other people negative about it. So then I literally just built the jumps and got somebody that didn't even ride to come out with me and hang out while I jumped them. Because I was like, I know, I already have in my head how to hit these, and I just don't need somebody to come out here and be like, I don't know. You know, like, I'm not even going to listen to that. I'm just going to go out here by myself, jump both of these, and then I started, like, grooming them up a little bit. I fixed them with the machine, and then I was like, at this point, they're going to show up, and I'm already going to be jumping them, so fuck you. Like, I'm just going to show you how to jump.
Oh, fuck, now we got to hit these.
Exactly. But they were good. Ed Rossi and I actually flipped the first one. It was like 72, 73 feet into a...
Is this the secret stash?
Yeah. Into a...
Yeah, I remember that invite I got. It was a highlight of my life.
You never got to ride the secret stash?
I don't think I reached that level yet. I think I was still... crashing at AM contests.
That's fine. You can come and crash at the secret stash.
Huh?
You could have came and crashed at the secret stash. I'm fine with that.
Nobody was gonna pay my fucking crash fee.
I would have just stolen that footage and put it on my YouTube. Wouldn't even have monetized it back then.
How you gonna monetize that, bro?
I wouldn't even have back then. I just would have given it out for free.
You would have sold it to Moto pimps, and I would have ended up on World's Wildest Wipeouts.
I'd be like, listen, I filmed this. Fuck him. I own this footage.
He's in the comment section right now.
Is he?
Yeah, but I can't read and talk or listen. He called us sluts or something.
Cool.
Yeah, he called us a couple of sluts. Him and Danny D. Wayne are talking smack to each other.
That's good. My computer's being too slow to.
I can send you a Windows-based computer for fucking $300.
Dude, I'm running OBS. I'm also recording all the sound on Audacity.
Listen, it won't be.
And Google Hangouts. Yeah, it won't be fast enough to do any of this.
I can do that on my phone. I can do that on my Android phone.
Your Android can't run OBS, Nick.
It could. You know what couldn't? A fucking iPhone. It's illegal software, so like Android loves it. I don't know. Just the more I drink, the more confident I get in my computing abilities. I'm gonna start trading Bitcoins here in a minute, getting all cocky.
Yeah, let's sell stuff on Bitcoin. Buck Commander.
You can buy Clint's invisible beer maker.
No, Duck Commander? They also made Buck Commander. I was driving through Louisiana and I stopped in there. And
that's the same thing, or that's just some other guy that ripped them off?
No, it's I bought it at the place that they shot that show.
I don't know where that's at.
It's in West Monroe, Louisiana.
You don't have the TVs.
You got the TVs. You're on the interwebs right now.
All I watch is podcasts, and I don't know. I got some TVs now.
Those people were good Christian people. I know you watched it.
I did not watch it. I'm not anti them, but I'm not. I could give a shit, honestly.
You were like, you southern fucking hillbillies. Fuck y'all. We're up here drinking pop.
Drinking pop, eating dogs.
All right.
Yeah, I got to pee super bad.
She's
Speaking
hanging.
of lazy ass dogs.
She is a lazy ass dog. Marley. She don't want
Marley.
me. Call her.
Isn't that the dog that died in that movie? Marley and Me?
No, she's named after Bob Marley.
Nah, she's named after that dog that died in that movie. It's never gonna make it through the night.
She's a Rasta.
Alright, well, yeah.
I just took her hat off.
Yeah, she normally has wicked braids.
That's right. In the hat.
Which, like, that's where her energy comes out of, is through her natural dreads.
Yeah, she took off the dreads so she could sleep. All right, we need to do the award show next week. Nobody's getting any awards.
What
We're
day?
just going to talk about it. Tuesday.
What awards?
The Instagram, FMX Instagrammies. I hope you still wear that.
It's signed by
The King?
the king himself.
For everybody on audio, Nick's got what is that, like a Moto 2?
It's like a little kid's moto.
He's got a little kid's Bell Moto 2 or something.
I got another one. I got a Moto, what is that, Moto 5? That was signed, but we didn't have the cash to get a new helmet, so I kept wearing it. And my goggles wore off the autograph.
Ooh.
But I probably avoided possibly one concussion with that.
That's good then. I bet you still got a little concussion. You avoided lacerating your skull.
No, I for sure got knocked out in that helmet. I got concussed in that helmet. But I could have, who knows, maybe one more would have been had. That helmet was when my dad let me skip school to go riding. And then he never ever pushed me. And he was like, yeah, maybe next time you go through those whoops, like, get back a little bit, give it a little more throttle. And the next thing I know, I was like, I was like a super little kid on 80. I ate shit, and then I woke up. My dad's like carrying me to the truck, and I remember just like bleeding everywhere and like sitting down and like real dazed. It was like first time I'd really been knocked out. And my dad, is this a dream? He's like, no. And I was like, oh. I was all upset. It wasn't a dream. I think I was like 10 or something. And then my mom washed that jersey. She's like, Nick, I got all the blood out of that jersey. I'm like, Ma, you can't. I was going to put that on my wall.
So you did. Where'd you cut your head?
Just my chin.
Oh.
But they bleed like crazy. But I was definitely knocked out for sure for I don't know how long. And then I remember the nurse yelling at my dad. It's like, well, if he was in school, this wouldn't have happened. My dad's like, this kid gets straight A's or whatever he said.
My boy don't need no education.
He just backhanded her.
He was like, listen, we're farming family.
You've met my dad. You're not even close.
No, he was like, I need this kid to check roofs. Fuck you.
He sold that lady a car.
I don't doubt it. All right.
I gotta pee.
We're going to be like Marley and go to sleep. I may have a good guest. We'll have to talk to old Moto Pimps. I talked to him. He had 2 people that we're going to be on that are good guests. So I'll hit him up. We'll let you know. You'll just find out the way everybody else finds out.
But as it happens?
On Instagram.
We're going to do it like a SpaceX launch. It's just going to be live as it goes.
For everybody, like, literally, I'll just, like, finally figure out who's going to be on the show and just post something on Instagram, and Nick's like, okay, cool.
That's how I knew Garrett was going to be on tonight. I was like, Garrett's like, well, it's just more efficient, right? Like, why send an extra text?
That's right. I send the message out. This is like me sending it out to the world, including the other guy on the show. It's just like, hey, here's the guest.
Listen, if people want a more refined, professional show, don't be a dirt biker. Go do something else.
Go listen to Joe Rogan or something.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that.
With his fancy producer.
Jamie's a bitch.
He's a bitch. He don't even drink and smoke with him.
For shame.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Later, everybody.